I would hope that the week after Danny can do it. So we have kind of like 3 stewards taking on this role of moderating the call, and maybe, if at all, I'll be back. As a steward, I will obviously take that duty on again, because it has proven to be a really good thing to do, to bring us together every week, and just like rush a little bit through the DAO updates. So let's just keep the ball rolling, I guess. Which means, keeping the ball rolling here, you guys should definitely mint your attendance badge, because what would we be without unlocked attendance badges? For the first time after over a year, I actually minted the attendance badge not on Arbitrum. So it's the first attendance badge for the DAO calls minted on base, and eventually we can shift again, or we can randomly decide which what's this? Which chain to mint on. But this is where we are. So attendance badge, or so Durgidas, since you just joined, attendance badge for today's DAO call is in the chat. Please mint yours to show active participation in these calls. And what else? Okay, so I have a little bit of bad news first. You can tell Julian isn't around. Why is he not around? Because he got sick and he feels terrible and he's half dead, and he will be back next week. So he told me to tell you guys that he's excusing himself for this call, but he will be back next week when Ceci's going to moderate this call. So no updates other than the protocol is back. So that's good for the little, mishap of 2 weekends ago. So everything seems to work in order and fine again. Again, it was a provider issue. The provider has already been replaced with a new provider. So I guess that's all good and fine and as expected. But anyways, super happy to tell you. No core updates. I'm actually not happy about this. So I hope we get some cool updates next week. That said, I did have a call with Julian end of last week about the Community One bot and some other things that we actually actively integrated into the Discord. But I will get to that in a second or so. We are also now on the gold plan for Chambers. So this means we have not a 10,000 block limit, but a 100,000 block limit. It's a vast improvement. But this is obviously not something that I can pay for the DAO, because it's like almost $200. So kind of the agreement that we have right now is I'm paying this for a month until we open up the Scout game pool, and then we get the gold tier for a silver tier price. Okay, so I will eventually ask the DAO to reimburse me for this 1 month interim period, just so you guys are aware of this. Because the silver tier I was willing to finance for a bit. The gold tier I'm definitely not willing to finance for a bit. So that's it. And then we do have a new steward proposal up from Trix. Please have a look at this in this channel. Let me see how I can get that. Here it is. This is the link to the proposal. So please take some time to review this proposal. It's well written. I think there's nothing wrong with it. It makes perfect sense to me. I also saw some people commenting on Danny's proposal. So please make sure to review that as well and comment on that as well. If you haven't done that already, that's actually not on a DAO thread, but it is part of the technology and innovation channel. So you will have to go to that actual channel, and here is the message with the original proposal. Danny, do you want to say anything about that proposal? Anything about the comments that were made, or you want to keep it for the chats? What do you prefer?
Right now, I think I'll just let some more comments go on in the chat, and then maybe by the next call, I can then speak to it if there's more comments, so it's not like fragmented into different sections and all. Since you're like announcing it now on the call to the DAO, I would expect that maybe there might be some more eyeballs on it and some more comments. So yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. Sounds reasonable to me. Okay, let's do that. That's fine. Trix cannot join us today. He, I think, has a different ailment, but also sick. So I think the whole Unlock DAO is going through a little cycle of sickness right now. It's like really sad, but it's a thing.
I might have to excuse myself from this call.
You stay. I know you're not sick. You stick around, my friends. Look at people getting ultimately inspired by this. Okay. So I wanted to show you a little bit more about Community One bots because I had a really lovely call yesterday with Lisa from Community One, and we went over some things that we do want to, or that like features we want to use, and others that we might not want to use right now. Okay. So I'm just gonna show you like what that is, and if you feel differently, then at least you can make us aware that you feel differently about this, right? So essentially, Community One bot is a very normal bot that you add to Discord, right? But it consists of a bunch of really interesting features that we can slowly start building up on. So one thing that I set up, for example, is the analytics, right? So you can track specific channels, you can track specific moderators, no pressure, council stewards. You can track verification roles. And then there is a whole guide on how to read the analytics once they come out. I added essentially a document to Charmverse where that guide is linked and all of this process is also linked. But I just wanted to show you this is something we were able to set up. Another feature that I used is getting us listed in their server listing feature for discovery purposes. What else do we have? Oh yeah, this is super interesting. This is the actual I want to say this is the actual knowledge base and knowledge center for the AI agents. So as you guys can see, I have synced it, and this is something that Luisa showed me yesterday because the other things I set up on my own. But essentially, I've been syncing it to very specific channels. So mostly channels that are about answering questions. So this is the developers channel, this is the creators channel, this is the general chat in Spanish and in English. So for now, these are the 4 channels this is synced to, okay? And the AI agent itself is essentially right now available in the US general chat English, okay? For unanswered questions that are not responded to after 5 minutes. That's one. Then marketing and communications as a test channel. Okay, so you guys need to sever the testing. Unanswered questions, not response after 3 minutes. And then, there is our tone of voice as in how to respond, and all of these things is all set up. So that's good news, I guess. And then there is the hype engine, and the hype engine is more specific about building custom quests and all of these things. And I told Luisa yesterday, maybe we first start by actually continue feeding knowledge to the knowledge center and really get the AI to work like true magic, right? Before we get into like building quests around this, because honestly, I wouldn't even have an idea right now what type of quests to build. Okay, wouldn't even know people who would have the mental capacity to participate in these quests right now. So I was like, okay, maybe let's hold off on that, right, and revisit that at a later point. That felt like much more feasible. Also, Luisa asked me what our documentation page is based on, because it looks very Gitbooky, but I don't think it is actually Gitbook. So yeah, we need to find a way to scrape the data from there and actually feed this as TXT files to the to the AI knowledge center. But yeah, essentially it's all about now feeding unlock specific Ducosaurus. Okay. What's Ducosaurus? This is the Danny, enlighten us. What's Ducosaurus? The spelling is totally butchered. Oh, it's not. Okay. It's just it.
Yeah, I think the docs is based on Docusaurus. I'm a mobile, so I was just having a hard time getting to where to unmute myself. But yeah, that's what the docs should be based on.
Okay, so maybe there's an easy way of extracting. Okay, good. And what else is in the chat? I would suggest doing an audit with him prior to any revisions to the Discord. Oh wait, what is this about? Dorgadas? We at Octon recently had a security audit and he was great. Juror security. Oh, cool. I would suggest doing an audit with him prior to any revisions to the Discord. I mean, the thing is, our Discord is actually very safe because it is token gated. That is what makes it pretty much the assholes only get until here. They only get into the first channel, into the lobby, and then every day I check if there is unwanted folks on here, trying to spam or scam people, and I just kill them out. So we were sponsored by Ethereum, so I don't have a sense of that. Yeah, it's a good question because these audits are usually pretty expensive. But Dovidas, yeah, speak up. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll just say I learned a lot about the process, and we're still kind of doing some of those recommendations.
I can barely hear you. Can you try and come closer to the microphone? Dovidas?
How's that?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I was just saying that I learned a lot during the process about cold admin, and I don't know how much you guys have implemented a lot of that, but I know for sure we learned more about it than I think any of us really knew through the process about how to secure Discord. So it's I'm sure that you guys have a relatively low risk because of the token gating, but at the same time, it still might be useful because there are other risks that are mitigated through that process. And so I've DM'd him asking how much it actually does cost, but and I imagine he's probably got pricing on his website. But anyway, I just wanted to say we had a good experience, and I was really impressed with his knowledge about all this. So I just figured I'd share that. So thanks.
Yeah, but this is great. Thank you for asking. Perfect. Okay. I guess moving on. Don't know which window. Let's try this one. Okay. So anyway, community 1 is working. So feeding the knowledge base is next. So anyone who has the ability to help with feeding the knowledge base with TXT documents and has an idea on how to scrape and not let me do this manually, I would appreciate. All right, so Stuart proposal I already talked about the goal plan as well. So next up, because I'm already sharing my screen, the DAO guidelines. So I wanted to show this week, so I'm not hijacking next week's call that is going to be hosted by Ceci, even though it's not completely done. The DAO guidelines is essentially my last contribution as lead steward, because technically I'm not anymore. And I'm doing this all my free time, which is ridiculous. But I think it's a necessary document for us to have. And I just want to say hi. We're currently in Rwanda. The internet isn't improving. Sad not to see you on the next call, but wishing you a great holiday. Oh yeah, I mean, I might say hi. Maybe I cannot resist. There is this thing. But glad you're chiming in from Rwanda, and I hope you can stick around on listening mode, at least for a while longer. All right. So the DAO guidelines essentially composes of brand guidelines, organizational guidelines, social media guidelines, and ambassador resources or ambassador guidelines. We're still working on that. Anupa has been very active helping with the ambassador resources. So thank you for that. By the way, Kara has been very active as an ambassador already. And hopefully with her support, we can get more traction to Celo on Unlock Protocol, which would be amazing. So she's working on that very actively. Yeah, so the brand guidelines are already done, and I think I showed those before, so I'm not going to show them again. But essentially, this is the whole stack, and I will export it as a PDF, and it will become a downloadable resource, and you guys can indulge in it. And then there is the social media guidelines, whereas this part still needs finishing, but everything else is essentially done. It has a short overview over the brand. It does contain the audience and the different user personas. Of course, not a refined version, right? Because that's something we still need Soho and Anupa to eventually do for us. Then we do have a tone of voice and a language. We do have, recommended a language and tone of voice for the different channels that we are using, which means Crypt, X, Farcaster, LinkedIn, Paragraph, TikTok, and YouTube. And so the last bit is essentially the workflow, how to get involved, what are the content pillars, where can I find resources, like all of these things. But essentially DAO guidelines should be mostly done, I would say, end of next week, hopefully, because I'm only missing a few pages here. And then there is the organizational guidelines, the ambassador resources. I will only touch in August again. So I made this decision. I cannot deliver all of this. It's crazy. But I think it's a document that we need and that has resulted of all the knowledge and all the things that we have been doing since last year. So I felt it would be it would be much more worth leaving something like this behind as a report than, saying like, oh, this is everything I did and look at that, right? Like, let's rather have something that we can actually use to improve further and make stuff better and help people orient in the complexity that is a DAO. So yeah, that said, I guess the ads protocol structure has not been minted yet, mainly because Nick has been, I think, very involved in something that's called Ed Curie, which is a very interesting new thing on Farcaster if you want to check it out. Then again, Anupa, big shout out because she's been contributing very actively to the ambassador resources and the structuring of those. And I guess guys from Rwanda, they're still around. I know the Dev Fest has happened, and there were a lot of cool pictures of a lot of cool people in a lot of cool Unlock DAO shirts. So that was cool to see. Danny, can you speak for the guys? Because I don't think they're around anymore. Danny, is he still there? Probably on his way back. So, okay, let's put this to next week, I guess. That's also fine. Because we want to hear more about how the Dev Fest has evolved and how stuff is looking. On the finances and the resource part, the multi-sig event is still out to happen. Danny and David Moderator and I have tried several times to do this async, but it has not been working, and we ended up 3 times having to essentially reject the transaction because it just wouldn't work. So we don't really understand why and how and what happened, but it's not working, and it's very frustrating. And I'm doing something really wrong, but I also recorded a video that actually shows I'm doing everything right. So I'm not sure why it's not working. So the why is still a big question mark, but hopefully we can make it work this Thursday. And also, fair warning, a new proposal from Bond might come in for an extension with a more planned marketing and support strategy this time. And I guess then I give things over to Sissy for marketing and communications. And also don't forget to mint your attendance badge.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to anyone and everyone here. Yes, so we had a rough week last week because of illness, but now recovered. We basically had our call marketing working group today, and we had catch up and updates on Ninja Promo and how we are working with them. Basically, now we have new posts and content to be posted on socials for July, and we already have 3 posts, and they are still working on the rest of the content, which is pretty good. Let me show you a little bit of how this looks. Yes, this one. Okay. So here are the content to be produced for the month of July. As a static post, we already have these 3, and already there needs to be 2 more, and obviously these ones. So every content has a pace, a date to be posted, and this is the next one that we will be posting for tomorrow. And fortunately, we have this for many channels as Forecaster, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So this is the update that we have from them. Also, today I'm going to discuss with them about the KOL campaign that we need to establish a date to start that campaign, considering that we need also time for this proposal to go live on Tally and obviously get approved. And hopefully, being approved, then we will be able to start the campaign. So we are calculating, but that about September we would be working on the KOL campaign. So just so you know, we should be ending this work with Ninja Promo on August. So considering that July, August is basically some months that are that have festivities on the northern side of the planet, and many of our followers are from that regions. So we decided to give it a pause on August. So then we would be working with Ninja Promo until the last day of July, a pause on August, and then restarting with the KOL campaign, and basically just for the KOL campaign on September. So those are the plans for working with Ninja Promo. And yeah, that's something. Also, today we also discussed the content creation pipeline. So we already have some videos as contributions that Soho has made, and these are really cool videos to be posted as casual posts around Unlock and how to use it or why to use it and all that. So those will be going out on our socials shortly. And because we have experimented with this with her, now we are going to bring it with a much more structure and a system to work with. So basically, we are going to use Chambers. Please, Will, could you share a little bit more about how we're going to use Chambers? This is just an update, but on the next week, we will show the whole process with the templates that are now are going to be set up on Chambers. But so you know, in in a flash how this is going to be.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Since a lot of what we do marketing communications wise is done through Termverse, it only makes sense to leverage the Termverse platform to at least be the source of truth record for content creation that's sitting in the pipeline. So if you're not aware, Termverse has a robust rewards mechanism in there as well. We did workshop today of how we can record this activity effectively and record what distribution will be awarded based on the content that's creating without actually having to deploy the rewards from Charmverse. But basically, that will be our record, right, of the content that's been created. It will have in there detailed when it was done, as far as the submission dates and review process, and we'll also have the amount of up tokens to be awarded. So this way, for Danny or whoever in finance is distributing those awards on a monthly basis, we'll be able to, at a glance, see who and what, see who and what, is eligible for these rewards for creating content on behalf of the house. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. Yes, so that's something that we will show you in detail for next week's call. And hopefully for that, then you will be inspired to create some content and also participate on the retro funding because of your contributions. And yeah, so basically that. Then yeah, we discussed some other out of context things, but on marketing we are now focusing on the promotion of the protocol. But if we have any other kind of campaign or maybe collaboration, I'm sure that we will adjust all the agenda. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ceci. Thank you, Ceci. Yeah, I think that's true because once we have the GitHub cleaned up and we can launch the campaign with Scout Game, I think then we will have to adjust the current agenda accordingly. But we first need a little bit more of a green light from Julian for that to happen. So there is a little bit of a bottleneck right now, but that's just natural, and it is also because of security reasons. Actually, I wanted to highlight something else because Durgidus has recently enjoyed how can I say, multi-channel debate about how we can potentially improve the unlock protocol tokenomics, or how else we can maybe utilize the token to bring more traction to it. So you guys know that Trix and I have been speaking about a digital marketplace, which is one idea. But Durgidus has actually created like several documents around the different ideas that he had. And the cool part about this is he is, sorry to say this, but you're relatively new, meaning you come with somewhat of a, limited insight on the things that have already been done or were already in progress. But it also opens up another window of like seeing things that we might not be able to see anymore from being so inside of this, right? And so when I reviewed one of the docs that you sent to me recently over the weekend, I was like, oh yeah, there's like two things that we could definitely like explore further and see where they lead. Like, would you feel okay? I know it's very spontaneous, but would you feel okay talking a little bit about it?
Yeah, let me bring it up because I'm it's so warm here now, and I'm just like finding myself being like, oh my god. So I have to like put my brain back on.
Brain fog? Is
Trying to
this
find
it?
that. So I do a lot of this kind of thing too. So yeah, I've probably produced hundreds of documents in the last couple of weeks. So I'm trying to remember what kind of synthesis I did. So let me see if I can find it. So yeah, maybe just do something else, and then I'll see if I can come up with where the heck I put all this stuff, and then
No, that's okay. You can also like take your time. You can also maybe prepare yourself a little bit further for next week. And maybe Stacey can remember to put this officially on the schedule. But I just thought it would make for a nice discussion. And it's totally fine to do it next week as well. So maybe it's less brain fog.
Well, I mean, I'd be happy to share the
Stacey and
document.
I were like,
you know,
we're freezing to death over here, right? So you say like, oh, it's so warm. It's like, yeah, sure.
I'm
Give
gonna have
it
to
to
get
us
used to
in
the
our
heat because
faces.
Florida is so hot now.
Yeah, it is. Well, I just like you for having it warm. So anyways, it's a good point of discussion. And yeah, I guess this is all the points I had. There is not like a major agenda this week, honestly. A lot of stuff are still in the works, but because of ECC, there has been a lot of traveling, which was also, I think, why the Charmburst guys got back to us so horribly late. It's not because they hate us, it's because there was just not enough manpower around. Then I think the Burner guys are still over at ECC, so not much has moved forward there either. But yeah. Oh yeah, you're sharing the docs. Okay. Have you seen my comments, by the way? Did you have a chance to look at them?
I did look through those. Yeah, it was
Nice.
instructive.
Okay.
And then this was another one that I kind of I think put forward. I think it was secondary to that, but I don't know if you'd seen it or not. It tends to be a thing where somebody bounces off of me, then I'll go like, oh, I need to go produce another 20 freaking documents and figure out how this works. And so that's just always my way of doing everything. So in this case, it looks like I produced exactly one document that I can find. But I mean, the amount, if you actually look at my screen, if I could share my screen real quick in terms of like.
This is actually not the one I mentioned, but it's fine too.
Okay.
So, oh my God. Okay.
I don't know if you've seen like all this stuff like with Unlock. I basically, yeah. So I mean, like I have all these different ideas about how to use Unlock is part of it, right? So like how would I use it, but some of it is specific to Unlock, but some of it is like me trying to figure out how I would use it to power like a fictional app or different kinds of things. So yeah.
Okay, that turned crazy fast. I will send you again the link that I meant. It's not this one actually that I took time to read and comment on. This one is still open for me.
Put both of them in there. The one that says your
comment. Oh, that's the other one.
And
okay,
then
now
the other one, yeah. So
yeah,
both
okay.
in there.
Yeah. Making unlocked protocols token more appealing to DeFi strategic approaches. Yeah, that one. So I think you should also post, as you already have this open now, and if you don't mind, Durgatus, would you post both of them into the finances and resource channel on Discord? Because I think this is good to add there, and then hopefully have some more people, including David, start engaging into discussion, because we need to look at this, right? This is like non-optional. This is also why I kept talking to Adam from Apon, because I cannot believe, there's so much, sorry, excuse my language here, so much bullshit out there, right? Yet we actually have a protocol that's already working, running, it's working well, it's, it's a solid product, and I cannot believe that we cannot create the traction that, other projects who don't have all of that, right? We're available on 14 EVM networks. There's not so many protocols around who even have that. So I think like we need to put more effort into promoting and showing the world how cool it is. And if we can find additional strategies, like some of the ones that Durgatus is proposing to help that alongside of marketing, then we should definitely look at those, right? So anyways, that's all I have. Are we good?
Yeah, I posted those already. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I see you guys in the chats. I see you guys next week. And yeah, have a great rest of the week. And see you guys around.
Take care, everybody.
Great.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Can I just say, Drew, the guy I was telling you about, he's in the